she's my person. She is the GOAT. Like, no debates, no extra conversation. She is the greatest women's basketball player of all time. Don't show off.
I'm not gonna do you like that.
Good? All right. We good to go. Listen, we said here on the Wright Network, you never know who's gonna pop in on us as we do our show all day here at the Avery by Related in California. We have one of the greatest athletes, basketball players, women that ever touch a ball, any humans ever touch a basketball, but someone who we all admire so much for all the things. We're able to have Tina Thompson.
Yeah.
Stop here. On the Y.
In the building.
On the Y. Talk to me,
This
DBZ.
is my favorite HOF. LA's on.
Wait, hold on, player. Damn, I thought that was your boy, but go ahead.
Yeah, but TT come first, all right?
They not like us.
They not like us.
They not like us.
We talking about Morningside High School, though.
That's what I'm
Like,
talking
people
about.
don't understand what Morningside High School is.
Mm-hmm.
My mom went to Morningside. That's in Inglewood, California, for the people that don't know. Before SoFi and all that nice shit was over there. Morningside.
Did Byron Scott go there?
Byron Scott, there you go.
Eldon
Lisa
Campbell.
Leslie.
Lisa
Eldon
Leslie.
Campbell.
Eldon Campbell.
Yeah.
Eldon Campbell.
We get
Yes.
buckets at Morningside.
Listen, yes, you do. Y'all do get buckets there.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy to have TT here, man. This is like my big sis, my dog right here. You know what I mean? I talk
sure.
to TT all the time, and we always debating about basketball and just talking about, the game.
Yeah.
She's done so many amazing things, so I love what she's doing back to the game, working for the Blazers and just being dope. What's the difference now, when you was a Trojan to, where they are now?
The atmosphere. The atmosphere is insane. Like, what she's done, like, just for the city, for USC. I mean, it's like Cheryl Miller-esque.
Okay.
And like, Cheryl, she's my person.
Okay.
Like,
That's a big step right
Yes.
there.
Heck yeah.
that is, she is the GOAT. Like, no debates, no extra conversation. She is the greatest women's basketball player of all time.
I agree.
So the fact that Juju has created a very similar environment and that any and everybody, like, it's the ticket in LA, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Yes.
Like, as you guys know, like, you guys live in LA, like, when your ticket is the one that is talked about, is hard to get, like, you have created like a phenomenon, like you've put your stamp like on whatever genre, you're in, what sports or entertainment or whatever. And she's done that effortlessly, and she's done it humbly. Like, she's first class.
No.
You know what? You're so professional.
Yeah, she is.
Look at you. That was such a great answer.
But it's the truth.
No, it is the truth. But
It's
the
true.
way you said it was just so incredible. Listen, D. Wright and I had a conversation yesterday, little sidebar. We were talking about the game, the WNBA game, the growth of it.
Yeah.
And obviously we can always talk about what's happening on the court.
Yeah.
But we was talking about what's off the court. And, what we all, as former players, when we start doing something, we think we're the first ones to do something.
Okay.
But we were talking about the tunnel walks. We were talking about the stylish women. We were talking about how now, Fashion Week for all the WNBA players and all the things that they're doing away from the game. And we started talking about who we thought was the originators of a woman who's hooping that's just beautiful out there. Just giving us the lipstick, giving us the makeup, giving us the nails. So, obviously, shout out to Lisa Leslie, is one of our best, but Tina Thompson.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Trendsetter.
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 Talk to us about, like, obviously you did what you did, and that was just how you got ready for games. It wasn't necessary to put on.
Yeah.
But talk about the ability to be able to be viewed as more than just a girl who played basketball, somebody that we can look at that's hooping, that can put it on, that was beautiful, that was smart, that was all the things, and not just the basketball player.
Well, because basketball is what I did, like, it wasn't who I am. Like, first and foremost, like, I'm a lady.
Talk to us.
Little dog in there, little gangster in there. Like, at the foundation of it all, like, I'm a lady. Like I grew up like my grandmother, like Mrs. Ford, my mom's like, she was so first class. I mean, she wore driving shoes, you know? She didn't get in the car with her, you know, walk around shoes, you
That's
know?
killer.
Like she put on gloves when she went to drive. She had a couple pair of jeans that she used for cooking or when she was in the garden,
Oh,
you
wow.
know? Like, so she came from an era where you know, you dress up and like how you show up is a reflection of like who you are. So that was really important to me. And then I had an older brother and the recreation center that we played at, Robertson Park, I was the only girl there, you know, but I had a big brother and he had like guidelines. Like you're in here and you're hooping and you're one of us, but you are not like us. Like you're a lady, like you're not a boy, you know? Like, so, you know, you sit up there, like make sure you cross your legs. Like he was very much like on me. And then I had a dad who's like, house shoes are for inside. You know, if you curl your hair, it should be curled when you leave. We're not leaving here in hair rollers or, you know, like hair nets and things like that. Like those were like principal things that were, you know, impressed upon me that basically became like a lifestyle. So, you know, how you show up, honestly, it sounds cliche, but it's the first impression that people like have of you.
Was
know?
was the lipstick like the last thing you put on before you went out? Like, talk to us about the
And
lipstick.
what was behind that though?
What was
I
behind
want to know.
that?
I don't even know if I ever asked you that. Like, what was behind you wearing the red lipstick?
Yeah.
What was behind that?
It's such an insane story. And I'm telling you, like, I just got like so much like just thunder from chicks like, oh, she's trying to be so cute and whatever. Like, it totally wasn't that. Like, as much as I am all the things that I said, like, I'm an academic, like, you know, like education is really important to me. I went to Southern Cal. That's where I decided to go academically, high academic school. I wanted to, before the WNBA, like my goal was to be a Supreme Court justice. So going to USC, like you had to be like on top of it, you know? And at the time, which was a little while ago, the average kind of years for an athlete graduating college was like 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like just because of like the requirements, but also like there was a standard in which they wanted athletes, you know, the amount of classes to take because they wanted you to have like a real balance.
Absolutely.
I was a little different. I wanted to graduate in 4 because I'm like, once I leave like this basketball space, I'm going to be in the space of like academics. So I need to be able to perform at the level that they're performing at. So I wanted to graduate in 4 years, and that was it. So my freshman year at USC, my first semester, I took 22 units, and the average was 12. So
Damn.
At USC though,
Yeah,
that's a bar.
So I ended up dropping like a class. It was like an elective because I found out I didn't need it. So it was like 20, right? So I was busy, like class. It was like class, practice, study table, like home, you know, like that was my life. But I would dress up to go to class. So because I was so busy, we had an early game. So I was running from class to get to the arena. And the first game our exhibition game we played, I didn't do so well, like by my standards. So the second game, I'm like, okay, you know, like I'm at home, like I got to put on, you know, my family's showing up, you know, and I was rushing. So I'm like rushing from class to get to the gym to change. But my team was already going out. So I'm like putting on all my stuff and I usually wipe off the lipstick.
Okay.
Wow.
And I left it on accidentally.
Okay.
But I cooked in that game. So like literally, it was like, I was like, oh, of course, you know, like you can't just so like naive and just ignorant. It has to be the lipstick, you know? And then it just became a part of my uniform like
That's
after that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it was totally accidental. It was
Okay.
accidental for sure.
Was it a particular type of lipstick?
Yes. I wore Diva Lipstick by MAC.
Did you get a deal with them?
I didn't. Ironically, like you see a lot of like, I know Rihanna did it. Like a lot of different entertainers have had like a signature lipstick with them.
Yeah.
But it's like a charitable cause. Like no one gets paid for it. So like they don't do like endorsement deals. But then it was like, okay, like you could get a lipstick deal.
Yeah.
But like I'm principled, I'm loyal. Like MAC is what I wore. So like, I probably could have gotten a deal with another company, but like that wasn't
a thing.
That wasn't it.
With the NIL.
Shooting and eating.
Well, now, yeah.
With the NIL and the way they promoting women basketball.
Yeah, how do you look at tell us how you look at the game now with where it is today, but where it's potentially going from the era that that you were in, with like you said, now if they see somebody wearing lipstick and that's what they do, it's probably gonna be a deal.
It's gonna be a deal.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.
How do you view now what they able to have at their fingertips from from all the work that was done by you guys and the ones before you?
For sure.
I think it's amazing. I mean, like the reality is that like we evolve, like evolution is like a real thing, you know? So like as much as you look at it and you think like, man, like if it was me at that time, like that's just not how it works. All the stuff that we did creates a foundation for everyone that comes after us to be able to stand on, you know? So the work that we've done, all of us have allowed, our kids, like our friends' kids, our nieces and our nephews to be in the space that we weren't. And to me, that's what it's all about. Like I dig NIL. I wish it was regulated a little better, I mean, because once you open that door, it opened up the door for so many things. So now just like the process of collegiate athletics and being able to transfer after every year, like it's cool and it's hot, but like the reality is that you can't transfer to a new school every single year and also receive an education.
Yeah.
Right? You two are one of less than 5,000 players that have played in the NBA in its entire existence.
Crazy.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like, what is it? Like 80 years? What years this season?
Yeah, it's 80. We're about 80.
About 80.
Probably
Less
80,
than
81,
5,000
That sounds crazy.
That's why
players
picking this
in the
rule is so
totality of the
important.
NBA. So it's like these kids are transferring, going to a different school every single year. Like you can't get an education that way. You're not getting a degree. The money that you're getting, $75,000, $100,000, $300,000, you think it's a lot of money because you've not made any money.
Right, exactly.
But it's not money that's going to last you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have to go get a real job and you're going to have to get paid, if you get a good job, $30 an hour. You're going to think that that's peanuts based on the money that you've received. So if you don't make it, then what?
Yeah.
To me, it's just a different version of guys going to the league from high school. We have the amazing stories of the Darrell Wrights and the Kevin Garnetts and the Kobe Bryants. And, we can go on and on, the Tracy McGrady's. But you guys know a whole lot of guys
Yes, we do.
that entered into that draft that didn't make it and are who knows where.
Yeah.
And that's the position that we're putting our kids in.
Facts.
And that's the part about it that I don't like.
One thing before your next question is Deion Sanders came out and he kind of explained a little bit.
Collective bargaining.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think we're all a little ignorant about what's going on.
Yeah.
And he kind of explained the difference between what NIL is. Yeah. And he was like, NIL, from a sense, you don't see, that's name, likeness, and image. How many college players you actually see with them using their name, likeness, and image? It's only a few. He was like, but everybody else is getting paid from community
It's
pot.
from a collective.
This collective pot
collective
of
pot.
what the boosters or different people put in the pot to say, okay, you get 150 to come to my school, which is way different than NIL.
It's two different.
So for everybody, that's two different things.
Yeah.
It's a part of the tool of NIL.
Yeah.
Like it's a version of it. And to me, it's like hush money. Because
But
what it
hadn't
does.
hush money been around?
Well, because
Forever.
it's like you're not, those kids that are not receiving the large endorsements, if they're receiving something, it cuts out the competitive nature. It cuts out the hating, the star guy on the team that's like getting everything and you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
So it allows everyone to be like at a calm is what it does. But again, when you're in the situation and you're receiving something, you're not thinking about it like that.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that like everyone is not going to get Juju Watkins kind of deals.
No.
Everyone isn't
Not gonna
going
be on
to
State
get
Farm commercial.
Bronny
Yeah,
James.
nobody get no State Farm commercial.
There's a reality to the reason why certain people get what they get, and it's because they're elite in some way, or they're bringing something to the table that, you know, the brands want. And everyone doesn't get to be in that space.
Yeah, I want to give my young fella Dyllan some love. You know, your son, who's a freshman now at Georgia Tech, playing for one of the best point guards ever played the game. So he's able to learn from one of the best and, you know, been to the league. How has that been, that transition? I know we speak a lot about our kids. Our kids are very similar as far as being the late bloomer, the shooter, the nice kids, you know. But how has the journey been so far, you know, just watching Dyllan grow and just seeing him in college now? How's that been so far for you?
It's been amazing. Like, I'm so proud of him because he hasn't had like an easy road, you know? Like, it's been a process for him, you know? And he's had to work really, really hard. And he has. Like, so, you know, I tell him often like how proud I am of him because he did it like on his own. You know, like I wasn't the parent that expected my son to be a basketball player. Like I just didn't. It's like, you know, I wanted him to figure out what he wanted to do and whatever it was that he wanted, I wanted him to do it well and at a high level. Like I wanted him to be educated. Like I wanted him to be a quality human being. And I wanted him to represent like who he is, you know, a strong, young man of color. That was really important to me. Basketball was what he chose, and my only ask was like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right. Like you can't live in this house and disrespect the game that I love. Like we don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, like
Please
that is absolutely not like an option. So, you know, I think around 14, 15 is when he decided, okay, like this is who I am, and everything changed for him. You know, like I didn't have to ask him when to get in the gym, like when to get up. Like he did it all on his own. He changed his eating habits and everything. Like he just became a beast. And if I wasn't there to like take him, he's like, Mom, can I take a Uber? And I was like, whatever, like whatever it costs, whatever you need, like do it, because he found his own passion in his own way.
Love that.
And even the environment that he's in right now at Georgia Tech is a very unique environment. Like Dyllan was a part of the 2024 like class, and it was the last class that would be affected by COVID and having to, so it was really difficult for him. And from a lot of really good schools, he got like, you know, like we're having to play against, you know, guys that are 23, 24, 25 years old.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there were some 26s. You're right. And, you know, we're only taking this many freshmen, you know? So like his environment was very different than, you know, his circumstance than, you know, the kids in the 2025 class. So he had to like literally get it how he lives.
Out the mud, baby.
And Damon kind of saw some things like in him, Coach Stoudemire, that other people also saw, but they weren't really willing to bet on. And he offered Dyllan to come for an official visit, just to kind of be around, get to know him and the staff a little more, and, you know, see if Georgia Tech was something that he liked. So we went on the official visit. He's there with no scholarship offer. So then he goes into a workout, I think like on the second day. He was supposed to go for about an hour and 15 minutes. Like after like 25, 30 minutes, like they just shut it down because Dyllan killed it.
He was on, he was
like,
ready.
Oh man, shot the heck out of it. He
How
was
tall
in
is he
there.
now?
He's 6'7".
He's big.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
With a ratchet.
Big kid
Literally.
with a ratchet.
So it was like coaches coming down like, Coach, or like, T, like what is it that we're missing? Like, how did people miss on this kid? Like, why, you know, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing. I've been trying to tell y'all. Like, he has it, you
You've
know?
been the
like,
number one. You on your social, I followed his whole career on your social media.
That's my guy.
You've been giving us the whole run, the whole
all
way.
of it. All of it. It was a real journey because in the beginning, I was just like, I don't know, Dyllan.
So Tina, one of my things is in similar situations, we all have kids that plays the sport that we love.
Mhm.
You are, you're 4-time NBA champion. You have all the accolades that you
Yeah.
wanted and that you worked hard for. How do you have the patience to allow Dyllan to go through his own journey and not be like, most of us kind of like trying to force the answer to the test on him? How do you allow him to come to his own answers?
Well, part of it is that like we have real discussions. Like I'm really honest with him. Like that's really important. But I'm really honest with everybody that I love.
Facts.
Like just please don't.
So ill-advised, Darrell.
Not so ill-advised.
Just really, really honest with him. And I think that created kind of like a toughness in him that just kind of happened like organically because I would tell him the truth. We've moved around like all over the country, like in the world. And, he was in certain situations where he was like so good. And he would just come home and he'd be like, I'm so cold, Mom. I had this, I had that, or whatever. And I was just like, why are you quiet? Do you want me to be honest? He's like, always. That's what you taught me. And I'm like, those kids you're playing against are trash. Like, seriously.
You think you're nice?
So, yeah, I said, but I'm like, literally, you get into the city, it's going to be a different thing.
Yes,
the outcome is going to be different. I'm not saying that you're not going to be good, but I'm telling you that 35 might be like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Like when you're playing against guys that are serious and this is all that they have, it's everything that they love.
That's how they're going to eat.
It changes. And I said, if you don't have that mindset, then like they're going to eat you alive. And that's like real. Like you're going to have to like seriously fight and scrap for everything that you want. And he's like, all right, Mom, you a hater. And I'm like, but really, I'm not. Like, I'm telling you the truth. I promise. I'm not. I'm telling you the truth, son. And then, we leave Charlottesville, Virginia, and we head back to Houston. He come in, he's quiet, he's sad, a little sad.
He ran into a couple of them.
He ran into some couple of them corn boys.
And he's like, I just don't get it. And I'm like, but you do get it. You just got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly like what it is. He's like, what is it? I was like, you got to get in better shape.
Yeah.
You're a little chubby. Like, you got to, like, this is what guys that want to do what you want to do look like.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You prepare them, though, because through that, even the conversation is not always, people look at development just on court.
Yeah.
Development is in the car rides. It's at home. And you have a parent that can look at you and say, I ain't gonna be able to help you.
Yeah.
But this is what it looked like. You make it easy for Damien to coach him. And so many people's journeys are so different that if he keeps his uniqueness, you never know who he can become because he's so young to become who he wants to become. And you never know when the light stops, like flickering and just stays on.
Right.
And that's the patience of being a parent. You got to have that patience.
Which is hard.
Because you're waiting for the light. Sometimes the light go boom, you like, there it is. That's the one. And then it get back to flickering. You like, what the hell? What is going on over here?
Because you know that you once you see that they can do it,
there
it is. And then they act like they can't do it.
Yep.
You like, come on, bro.
So
What's going on?
So he's in a situation and all you need is a platform.
Yep.
But those conversations, he'll be able to accept it from anybody outside of you because you are the first, like his first love.
Yeah.
So that tough love is going to be there. And I believe that because me and Dee talk about kids that come from affluent households or parents that are successful, they tend to be soft. They're not soft. It's our ability to communicate tough messages and let them fail.
Yep.
Yes.
So, circumstances don't make you tougher than anybody.
Agreed.
It just the failure part of it and what you can go through and then how do you respond after. So if we can teach this as a skill set,
1,000%.
then you can get the productivity out of kids that come from successful households.
I agree.
It's a delicate balance to me between just like the tough love, just being very honest, but then also being, supportive. And I don't know. I think being a mom just like helps, like we're built a little different, like than dads. But I also think that like honesty takes out like some of the elite level of patience that you need to have. Because when you tell the truth, like there's two ways you can go. You could either decide not to or like you can. So with Dyllan, like I did have patience because Jerome and I would have conversations, like my best friend Alvin, like we'd have a lot of conversations and, I'd have a conversation with Dyllan and then I'd go in the bathroom and I like scream and I come back and I'm like, like, you need that to just kind of will it back in. But like, to me, the honesty, like just kind of like takes out like so much of, the BS.
Yes,
but then it also allows them to be empowered to make decisions like for themselves. So the one thing that I'm so proud of and I just love about Dyllan is that like he knows who he is.
Yeah,
that's
but
love that.
He knows who he is like based on like his experiences, but also like based on failing, but also like us being able to have honest conversations. And it started like with me, which was really hard sometimes because, like when you tell your kids the truth, like sometimes it like hurts their feelings. And like, I don't want to hurt my son's feelings. Like, I don't want him to be sad.
Right.
Like, I don't want him to not like feel good. But I'd rather him get that experience with me than from a stranger. Because if a stranger is hurting my son's feelings, then
she is spitting.
we got a problem.
Mama got to show up then.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little different.
If the stranger doing it. We gonna get you out of here, Tina, but we are here for All-Star Weekend. And you're someone who is very decorated in this time in the All-Star Weekend. You got an MVP, don't you? Don't you got an MVP in there?
Yes, I have one.
You got one? Yeah, we're like...
we're the same.
We're the same. What can you talk
Hall of
about?
Famers, we're the
We're the same. We got some of the same, But can you talk about what All-Star Weekend was for you, what it meant for you, the fact that you got an MVP, meaning that you went out there to put on, you playing against the best in the world. Can you talk about what this time as an athlete, what that meant?
It's kind of like a celebration of like small victories, like I was way too serious when I was younger. Like now that I've matured, I see different versions of myself, but I was so serious. So for me, like All-Star Weekend wasn't like fun. I'm like, all right, we got to get in, we got to handle this business, and then we out. Like, I really don't have time to kind of like play around. We have these days off or my schedule's too busy. Like we have a game in 2 days. I'm going to be tired. Like I was so serious. So I wish I would have enjoyed it like a little bit more. But in hindsight, I'm like, that's not my personality.
Yeah, that's what made you who you are.
Yeah, like I kind of am like who I am. But I love the fact that like guys can come and like just celebrate themselves, or like, friends and family could celebrate you, or the fans like have this moment where all this elite collection of athletes are in like one place and they get to enjoy it. So like sometimes I'm kind of like, oh, you want to see a game where just all of them are just going so hard and they're going at each other. But at the same time, I really love seeing them have fun with each other, even though in those cases the game totally sucks, But like
it'd be a love fest amongst the players a little bit.
Yeah. So I like it at All-Star Weekend. I don't like it during the season. Like I am just kind of totally over like everybody kissing and hugging at the end. Yeah. Like I'm not trying to smile at you and you just smash me. Like I'm not gonna ever be able to be like that like person. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or maybe like after the game, because like Magic and Isaiah were like that, but they like killed each other, in between the lines. But yeah, like the too friendly to me is just, it gives me the ick a little bit, but
I love that. She's from that school.
Yeah, it's just that's hard for me. But during All-Star Weekend, I think that it's great. I think that I love the fact that like the guys like have this unique fraternity that they get to kind of share and just relax and be comfortable around each other and just really kind of enjoy it. And it's, again, a collection of a very few that have this opportunity. So many elite players in our league that have never been all-stars.
Yes.
For sure.
Like the list is beyond crazy,
Yeah.
you know? So this is a special moment and it's a celebration. And, you know, I just feel like people should celebrate it however they want because they're deserving.
We love the way you celebrated it, so we wouldn't go back and change anything. So we love the way that you were serious
either.
about
Yeah.
I felt it right here on the couch. I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, she ready.
like,
She
oh,
go
let's go.
now. I think she
go
go
right
now.
now.
Tina, thank you for stopping
Thank
by. We
you
know you
so
got
much,
a
TT.
schedule.
Thanks
We know
for
you made
having
time
me.
for us.
Yes.
D-Reezy, thanks
Yes,
for calling in.
because it was you
Thanks for
guys.
calling in.
We're going to emphasize.
Tina, don't do this.
Because it was
We're gonna get out.
D-Wright and D-Wade,
Everybody,
okay?
one of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
Tina Thompson, thank you for
Thanks,
sitting on the
guys.
line.
Thank
for
you,
us.
TT.
This was
Yeah.
great.
TT.
Wow, for all of us.